everyone, I'm Lindsay Hoffman, and welcome to the Dose of Bliss show, where I bring some amazing people to share their dose of bliss with you. Today, I have actress and philanthropist, Sondra Currie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys, she's done so many amazing things. You might know her for playing Zach Galifianakis' mom on the
Zachy's mom?
The fact that I've seen that movie, I would have never thought that I would have actually met you in real life.
That's wild.
And so the fact that you're sitting here, that's a manifestation.
Oh, it is a manifestation. And you know, Todd Phillips, who directed all of the Hangovers, also directed The Joker.
Oh, really?
Which is, talk about a whole other genre.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just a fun little fact.
I know.
And he's just a brilliant guy.
That's just how everybody here knows we're in the presence of a great person. And
oh, thank you.
What I'm really excited to talk to you about, though, is today we're going to be talking about the laws of the universe, specifically cause and effect. And I think this is cool because I met you on a red carpet. And
yeah, you did.
People see movies like The Hangover, they see people on the red carpet, but they don't know what internally they're doing to get there, and that there's so many magical people like you.
Oh, thank you.
So before we get into your story, I wanted to kind of ask you, what is the law of the universe? Because I always talk about the law of attraction, but there's more.
Oh my gosh, yes, there's so much more, but there's the primary law of cause and effect is really, it's the old-fashioned good neighbor policy. What you send out, you get back. And it's unforgiving in the most positive ways. And also, you know, what goes around comes around. Now, you've heard all of those sayings, and they get to be kind of redundant, you think, but it's not. It's really a true thing. It's the ebb and flow, the universe as the sun rises, the moon comes up. All of it is so in perfect order that if you really, really pay attention to that, it comes around, and it may not come back in the same channel that you send it out. That's what I was talking to you about beaming out. That's my little game. I love that because you can beam out. Not only does it make you stand up straight, but you're coming from your heart chakra.
From your heart.
And you'd be surprised. It's infallible. It just really always works.
So can you explain what the cause and effect is then of beaming out and having your own light? Because that's something I do. Every time I go on the red carpet or anywhere, I have that energy that I actually beam out too, and that's probably why you connected. So
absolutely, because like energy attracts like energy. That's exactly why we connected.
Exactly.
And that's why you have the people that are in your orbit. And perfectly placed. So you're asking me about,
like, what do you do? Like, when you say beam out, like, say someone's watching who doesn't know what you mean by that. Like, beam out your energy, or what is that? Cause and effect. How is that going to attract?
Okay, you can visualize your heart. I mean, seriously, if you were really visualizing it, like years and years and years ago, when I first started even studying metaphysically, there was something called a PMS talisman. You would visualize, that was positive mental attitude. It's all attitude, positive mental attitude, and you would imagine that you had it on. And then when you would turn, you would focus and send light. Your imagination is really strong. I mean, it's all about imagination. And it sends out a positive light, which your intention is sending out the positive light to whomever or whatever it happens to be. And it's almost like a game. You can play it with yourself just to say, I don't know if this works. Take a person on the street. You go in the post office and the guy behind the counter, somebody who's kind of like really grumpy, you can look at them and kind of imagine that you're sending them that light, and you'd be surprised. First of all, your whole face lights up in a different way because it's a pure sharing of good vibrations, if you want to say that. There's no malice. There's nothing that you want from them. It's a pure form of exchange. And it always works.
I can feel it. I know. I'm so happy on your show because my saying is kind of let your light shine. So similar to this. And that's how I feel like I've achieved everything in my life.
I'm positive of it.
Happy. And I can see, I feel like you're like a version of me. I've never even experienced that before.
Yeah.
So how did you discover this? Was there a point in like your childhood when like you found this out?
Truthfully, I don't think I really discovered it until my first agent, wildly enough, had a group, and it was called MIND, and that was an acronym for Man's Inner Nature and Development. And it was a class you took. It was when people were taking EST or TM or any, people were really looking to achieve some sort of balance and happiness in their lives. And, we're in a very turbulent time today, so we need to really do it. And my own method of meditation, it taught you ways to meditate. It taught you ways to kind of go into your mind. You could actually even visualize another person's being and call them in, and you'd work cases. Your graduation was working cases where you could go through a person's body visually. It's a whole other conversation for us, but you could kind of really tune in to what was going on with that person without even knowing it. It was pretty.
You kind of feel someone's energy. We've talked about that on the show before, because for people who might not understand this, everyone has a frequency of their bodies, and we can scientifically pick up on it, and
Absolutely.
We have that ability.
And you can help to balance it too. It's why people go to people to balance their energy. It's precisely it in a more modern day term.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's just different ways to talk about it. So back to the cause of the effect and to the beaming. What is something you had beamed or put out there and then it's come back to you?
Well, so many things. Now it's a really integrated part of my whole self. So there's certain things that I concentrate on. When I let go, if you're trying to control things, the very idea of controlling things or pushing on something thwarts the energy. So you have to really kind of let go and concentrate. Even in the morning when I get up and I walk down to get the newspaper, when the sun is out, I'll look up and I beam up and I can feel the energy coming down into my heart. And it makes you more at ease. If you stress, you could go into a ladies' room and just chill for a minute and focus and center and remember your divine being, your divinity, your heart really, and energy really is a powerful tool. And for us in the business that we're in, that's difficult because, when I say it's difficult, it's because you can't make somebody else do something, but it's all in how you receive it too. You have a choice. That's the other thing we have. We have choices on whether to accept something that somebody says to us, something that someone does to us. Nothing can be done to you that you don't want to be done, that want it to be done. You really have the option of looking in a new direction. From the Bible, years and years ago, they used to say, you turn the other cheek. Okay, so that to me, though, is if someone really comes off in a nasty manner for whatever reason, usually it's that person's issue, but it's not turn the other cheek so they can hit the other side. It's turn the other cheek so you can look in a new direction. There's always something there in that new direction, and let that person be. And so that you let them go, you kind of love them and let them go. So you don't have any kind of bitterness in you, and also concentrate on perfect timing.
Everything happens in perfect timing. That's
perfect
my new
timing.
mantra.
That's really another one. You get there at exactly the right time, and of course it makes you much more at ease en route. And once you're there, and it's exciting. Life is a thrill, and you really do enjoy every single thing that you look at. This fuzzy cactus here, there's the sensuality of that, and your sensing of it. Are these real?
No, these are actually fake plants.
Wow, aren't they fabulous?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the saying that I have is when I feel stressed out, talking about beaming, how sun and plants are so open to the world. They're literally open. They're not hiding. They're just giving unconditional
beauty.
Love. And when you think about that, looking at something as simply as a plant, you start to realize I should be like that. Like, society is always going to try to take from you, tell you you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, you don't have enough money. But the world's not going to do that to you. The sun's going to always give you the sun. The plants, they're always going to give you air. And that's really what we are in essence. We really are giving out our energy in that perfect balance too.
Absolutely. In fact, when we're finished, I'll share some of my plants and pictures because I love it when you can just get into it. You know, you can get into it, and the awesome beauty and the creation of that particular plant is so uplifting, and you go, wow, this whole world is like that if you look at it like that.
So how do you generate this happiness through this cause and effect in your beam and your light? Because, you know, now it's integrated into your life and it's integrated into my life, but some people have to learn it. So how do you learn that and remember to notice these little things and to feel those beams and the positive beams, but to block out the negative beams?
I don't think you have to block out anything. It's all in your attention, because there is a lot of negativity in the world. You just can't get away from that. I mean, I think that that's probably in balance. The truth is, you can look in a new direction. You don't dwell on something like that. You know, you have to, and look at also doing the very, very act of doing. Do something positive and do something that not only makes you feel good, we were talking about that, but uplift someone else. And, you know, take your attention, especially in our business. It's a very me. You need to do that balance about looking, can I help you? Is there something that I can do to make you a little happier today? To make you laugh or make you smile, or go out and let us notice everything that's gorgeous outside, and there's so many. We're here on a beautiful day in sunny Los Angeles, you know.
We're lucky to be here.
We're so lucky to be here. And you can find that any place, though, because it begins and ends with ourselves. So it really is attitude, educating yourself. I have a lot of, I have the word attitude on my makeup mirror, because that's a really, really important attribute, that it's always up to us on how we interpret it, whether it's a catastrophe or it's a new door opening. So it's important. I would love to go out with you sometime and we could just go play.
Oh, we should. I'm down for it.
Go play. I mean, there's really, you can go down at the beach or go someplace and we'll just check each other out and go, okay, watch this one.
Yeah,
you know?
it's funny that you do this beam thing where you practice. I wanted to talk about that a little bit more. If you have an example, because I've done that. I've literally been on the red carpet for interviews and I'm like, I'm going to get George Clooney to talk to me by radiating this light, and he, out of everyone, stopped and talked to me, and it really works. Do you have an example similar to that and how people can kind of focus that? Because people will be like, oh, that's crazy, but I'm literally visualizing this light around me, being like, I'm gonna try. Let's see if this person feels it.
Your heart is your own talisman. Your heart is your own. Every day I use it. And I do have examples of when I have not used it and I have said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You forgot. And you know better than that. I mean, the interesting thing also is, as we get more evolved, because it is, when I say cause and effect, there is a debt for things that you've done that are not kind. And as you get more evolved, though, it kind of comes back and it'll slap you in the face.
You're like, oh, I know why that happened.
Yeah, it slaps you in the face quicker, so you can get rid of it faster and get on with it and go, okay, I got that one. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I'm like, I know. Or when something happens to me, I'll be like, okay, I got the message this time. I'm not going to repeat it, because life has patterns. And when we're seeing negative patterns, you know, in our lives, that's really showing us a place that we can fix.
That's true, Lindsay. It's
literally
true.
right there for us.
And it's ongoing, though. It's not like, oh, now I got it, I'm fine. It's an ongoing evolution forever. It's not ever. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, I have all this knowledge now and I know how to live my life. Well, I know how to live my life, but I stumble. So then you go, okay, I get up, you dust yourself off and you watch your smoke, you know, and get on with it again. So one of the times when my husband and I, because he's really pretty much on this path too, which I love, when we're traveling in France, but in Europe mostly, where no one really knows us, and we really love to go to the small towns, and it's amazing. I said, we're like Pied Piper, you know, it's amazing how when we're eager to listen, and you're eager to hear about other people, and people can feel that genuinely. What you're doing you genuinely want to know that, you know, and it really, I can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it in you too.
Yeah.
We only have a few minutes left, so I have 2 more questions. Have you noticed, like, working on sets with celebrities, do they feel this, you know, the laws of the universe as well? Do they, the most successful ones that you've worked with, beam out? Have you noticed that in other successful people?
Well, yes, I have. I don't know if we've had really in-depth conversations. My closest friends really are on the path too. I mean, I always call it on the path, and it's a long path. It's a lifelong path. Even on the hangovers, because I get feelings too. You know, I'll go, I just have a sixth sense about that. And the director of the hangovers, I said, you know, I just have a feeling about this. And that was on the first one. And
about the success of the movie?
Yeah. And it was all through. It was such a shock for everybody that it was so hugely successful. And then he kept us all together on the second one and on the third one, because I thought
it was the energy that you all had together, keeping the momentum going. So what is the biggest tip you want people to know about cause and effect from things that you've learned in your life?
I guess as simply as when I say beam out, if you think about it, I mean, it condenses everything into one thing. Your heart, you can picture it and just beam out. I mean, just try it. That's the simplest thing. But also that we take responsibility for what we do. That's a very important thing. Nobody else is doing anything to us. It's our responsibility in that law of cause and effect. What you send out, you get back. But I would say that when you meet anybody, I mean, if you're curious, your curiosity and love and understanding, compassion comes through the beaming out. Plus, as I tell you, it makes you stand up straight.
It does. You're like this, and I feel it. Like while you're talking to me, as you go up, I feel like a magnet. It happening to me, and I hope the people watching can feel this too, because anybody has this ability. Whatever that it is that you want in your life, it's success, whatever you define as success.
Yes.
Really, it's just understanding that you have the power within to be happy. And
and Lindsay, we could actually get very specific about the different things that you want. I want this. Okay, how do I achieve it? You can get into all of that because it's all part of thinking in the most positive way, and there are tools to do that. But as far as like on a short talk like this, I think that's really a good one, no matter if someone's going in for a casting person or someone's going in for a director or you're going for a job, and absolutely no right place. Nobody can take anything from you. Right place, right time. That's why I say perfect timing. And beaming out. That's the simplest part of all of it. We can get more in depth another time.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back again to go really in depth. This is like the starter course to everybody understanding that there's other people out there. I mean, you've learned about this. When did you start learning about this?
In the 70s.
In the 70s. And so it was there. It's energy is always there. We just have to plug in. But
even the name of your show, A Dose of Bliss, for a while, bliss got overused and people were going, oh, find your bliss. But it is true. And that's it in a nutshell. And your dose of bliss is sharing that attitude.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Can you tell our audience where they can find you?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, either Facebook, Sondra Currie, at Sondra Currie, Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter.
She's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. So yes, please get in touch and let me know your beaming out experience.
Yes.
That's what I'd really love to hear.
Please comment that in the description. As you know, I'm Lindsay Hoffman. You can follow me on all platforms at Lindsay B. Hoffman. This show airs every Thursday on my YouTube channel, but if you want to binge watch it, you can go to the EverTalk TV app and watch all the episodes before they're live there. Again, comment below how you learn to beam out and anything you want to know from the lovely Sondra.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love being here with you.
I love it too. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time with another Dose of Bliss. Bye.
Bye-bye.